goal is get the ore out. The Martin drift's bonus. Keep finding more and more, and it's heavy, heavy. This is where the camera fades to black and say to be continued, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
We are here in what we are calling the Martin Room. For years, I've been curious about this vein right here. This is the first shot of our new drift, the Martin drift. Wow, that didn't sound right. Whoa, that's a big chunk. All loose up there. Yeah, all three of them went. Good. Heck, that went about as good as it could have gone. Thank you, Martin drift.
Holy Holy.
The news of the day is this mess we got out here. It's going to take us days to get this cleaned out. We still got some scaling to do over here. Timber wall needs some help. Track is all messed up. Martin drift caused a lot of work. I see some white stuff up there. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's some white stuff falling out of the sky. The season is coming to a close.
We're all set up to drill and shoot the Martin drift. We're taking material from the quartz and the waste. The drill's all set up, compressor's running with no problems.
Yeah, it's a cold starter, but
yeah,
it's running.
So
we're gonna start drilling. There is a little piece of gold I pulled off our vein in the Martin drift here. It's right here along the bottom. Cut in some of these gray pockets. Gray here. Nice little piece of gold right there.
all right, what are you thinking?
Well, while I was drilling, I was kind of fantasizing about coming in 4 or 5 feet and drilling another set up.
Yeah,
But then you're squatting over and it's
pretty spicy.
yeah, I mean, that's, this sucks.
Yeah,
This sucks. I think we just shoot it as it is. Yeah, it's tough. We'll just do this one step at a time here.
I'm happy with that. We got the time.
I really want to play around with a stope that when you shoot it, all the ore falls down in a nice pile for you.
Yeah,
I think you'll really like that.
nice big pile.
Back in the olden days, like I used to do it.
And we can maybe talk about getting a slusher in here.
But this, see this right here?
Yeah.
Like this vein there, There's been trace.
We were finding it in the waste when we were mucking, and it looked really good, but it looked like there were sulfides, but it looked more like entrained host rock that kind of got a little bit of sulfides in it. We smashed it open, and we couldn't find tellurium. We couldn't really find any sulfides, so we couldn't make sense of it. It's one of those things where crush it and find out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't see any visible gold. So here's our pillar, right? It's real narrow. And so the further in we go, the wider that pillar gets, but at first it's really narrow, and that's about 5 foot wide at the narrowest right here. And this is the only competent rock in the pillar. The rest of this is gravelly, and then it's solid back there. So we're kind of in this position where we don't know what this is going to do the next couple shots, so keep it narrow. So we get a drill in there. All right, let's shut up.
We're just getting ready to load our 3 holes in the back there. We got them all blown out. The whole idea here is to open up the Martin drift a little bit and expose the veins so we can see what's going on. Because if there's a couple of high-grade spots, we're going to want to drift up on them on this nice big fat vein here. But we got to get in there 20-30 feet so we can leave our pillar and all this second drift. This is all kind of delicate right in here, so we don't want to be blasting real hard on it and going up right above this drift and that kind of stuff. Clip on the 0.
Jason's connecting the 0 with no clip because I don't think it exists. If it does,
put a clip on the 0.
yeah, give us a clip on the 0s.
Tape.
Tape. All right, I am out.
Okay, this will hang down.
Camera in place first. Mine is clear.
Okay.
Here's your new gift.
Oh, a battery.
Brand new in the package. So I don't have to steal my metal detector battery anymore.
Okay. This is gonna work wonders.
If it doesn't work, we have to use something else.
Oh, it'll work. Here we go, 3, 2, 1.
I heard the 3 pop, pop, pop. I gotta learn not to cuss on camera, but I mean that. Woo! That shook the mountain.
That vibrated everything.
Is this rock gonna fall? I mean. Okay.
Same thing last time, the hard hats fell off the thing and the tools fell off. And
I think it's just every time it just amazes me how much force that is.
yeah, in a quarter of a bag. There's hardly any prill we put in there. It's just very explosive. Well, let's go take a look at Martin drift shot number 2. See what kind of mess we got. Harry, my biggest concern is we punched through that pillar into the collegeway drift.
Well, we're gonna find out here in about a minute.
I don't think we did. I'm hoping we didn't, but if we punched through and broke into this drift from the rib of the other drift, that would be a problem. The main goal is get the ore out. The Martin drift's bonus. All right, we're just coming around the corner here and see what she looks like. There, that's better, maybe. I don't see any rock yet. Oh yeah, that rib held fine. Rib's all good. Uh-oh. Don't touch.
Don't touch the buttons.
Don't touch the buttons. Don't touch the buttons. You want to hold the light?
Sure.
Yeah, you hold the light. up here funky? Nothing up here funky.
I don't see any separation in the wall.
No. That's good. Blast wire still
Here
here.
you go. Here's some separation.
Where?
Right here.
A little bit, yeah. Something fresh came off of there.
Yeah. Fresh.
Yeah.
Stole territory.
Yeah, that's not so good. What do we got up here? Okay, well, there's not a bunch of muck down here, so that's good.
Alright, let's check our cracks.
Ah, nice little pile of muck there. Here he's on crack mode.
Yeah, it grew. It was here. It's going just a tiny bit more. That's still connected up here, that's good. Ooh. Got that bigger. How does this one look? That's crack. That's, yeah, we got bigger crack. Big crack. Yeah, right there, Pete.
That worked perfect.
More crack up top.
All right, we got to scale this, figure out what we got here.
Well, we scaled our way into the Martin Drift. Nothing catastrophic happened, which is great. There's a couple new fractures in this wall here, and then also where Jason is walking on the rib. On that side, on the inside, there's a couple slabs that we're going to address. Probably end up doing stalls or something, just to kind of encase all that stuff. I think I'd like to backfill that space. That way the rock has nowhere to go, and it kind of keeps the integrity of the pillar in there. So that way the next time we shoot, we don't end up having to muck our track. But it's a nice clean shot, as Jason noticed. We probably could have carved our holes a little higher, but you know, we're so used to such a low back. This is nice for us.
Here's our kind of first look at the new vein exposure. Got the gloves. There's some tellurides right here. There's kind of a, if you step back, there's a kind of a faint band that runs right through here. I think that's our good stuff. Here's some more tellurides. It's not as good as some of the other stuff we've seen, obviously, but this is kind of interesting too. This green stuff got some copper oxidation going on. Here's some more. Those tellurides. Those are tellurides for sure. Right there along the footwall. More copper. But yeah, there's been a lot of water coming through here over its time sitting here, because everything is oxidized, even where the sulfides were. There's some more telluride right there. So the tellurides seem to be quite resistant to the water, which may indicate that they're calaverite, which they have gold with them, alloyed with the tellurium. Yeah, see right in here, that all looks really good. So I've got high hopes here, actually, that we can get this developed into something. The vein's kind of getting all ravelly and getting some waste rock in it, which I don't know if on previous videos you remember. The past guys that have done assays in here, when the vein starts to get waste rock in it, horse to waste like that, it actually starts assaying better. So that might be a good indicator that we're getting close to something good. But I think we've got maybe 2 or 3 more rounds here, and then find a good spot to go up on it. A couple of rounds and see what it looks like.
The back's all scaled, and now Jason's inspecting the vein here on the slick for any tellurium and gold. It looks like there's some tellurium in there. So I think Pete and I are going to take a lot of this quartz and bag it up, and then I believe Jason's going to mill it and try to do his own assay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, bulk sample's the plan.
Yeah, bulk sample. Test.
See what we got. I really like, come here, look at this. I really like this copper stuff down along the bottom. Little greeny stuff there.
Let me get my light off. Yeah, I see it. That means there's some leaching that's happened, huh?
Yeah, I think a lot of water came through here in the past.
And that would be a copper oxide, correct?
Right, yeah. It was a chalcopyrite like we see above, but now this has all been leached.
So we might be below the gold, where the gold dropped out.
It's that right above that left gray band. See right above it? And I doubt it's gold, but
I cannot get that close.
yeah. We'll say it's gold and just to get excited about it.
Yeah, it must be gold. Yes.
Yeah, I knew it. All right, our goal now is to get as much of this quartz out of here as we can, bag it, and the plan is going to be I'm going to take it down to the mill and do a bulk sample on it to see how much gold we can recover by milling it. And we'll do that for the next couple of rounds, actually, as we go down this drift. And I'll just get, I don't know, a ton or two, whatever I can get. We'll mill it up and see if we find some gold.
Well, I just came outside to start putting bags in the truck, and it is attempting to snow. At our altitude, it's more like a sleet, but about 600 to 1,000 feet higher than us, it's snowing. So this is awesome. I wish it would snow. Snow's way better than rain. Only thing I gotta watch out for is slipping. Jason's looking at what appears to be maybe the footwall, and there's this layer in between with another slick. And there's my favorite color, green and blues. So there's some copper oxides going on here, which is pretty cool. But there's some black stuff in there, and so whenever you see black stuff with copper, it could be a whole bunch of different things. One would hope there'd be precious metals in it. But for me, it's usually manganese. I wish I had Max or F right now.
Yeah.
Clay all the way down to the bottom. Nope.
We're working our way, we're filling buckets. I'm back down to the water line here in the Martin Drift. I've got maybe the first third or so done, been half an hour, 45 minutes. But yeah, we have 2 feet of muck there. That whole thing my light's on is a wall of muck. But once we get in here, it won't be too bad. We'll be able to stand up real nice. And this next round I'll call my holes a little bit higher, but it's gonna be just fine. Mucking's hard.
A never-ending cycle. waste right there.
The wall rock has a bunch of sulfides in it. So it didn't get leached that bad. 'Cause there's a bunch of sulfides in here
Uh-huh.
in the pyrrhotite. So I wonder what's going on with the vein then.
You can see right here, the leaching,
Yeah.
where it's, I'd say calcified.
Over the thousands of years, as the water comes down through the rock, it reacts with the sulfides, turning them to oxides. And that's why you're seeing, like here, this green in the vein. That's copper oxide. That used to be probably chalcopyrite, like we see up top in the stope. But this is closer to the surface, and so there's probably water that's come down this slick over the millennia, and it's reacted with that chalcopyrite and turned it into copper oxide, malachite, which is actually a carbonate, I think. But this green and blue is oxidized copper sulfide, and that's when you refer to a vein being leached, as the water has reacted with all the minerals in the vein and leached them out, oxidized them, and either turned them to little rust pockets or just completely washed it out. The one advantage is the gold won't oxidize, and so even if the vein is leached, the gold stays behind, and that's why in places like Arizona and in the desert, they would mine all the oxide zone down to the sulfide zone where it hadn't interacted with water and over the millions of years, and so they'd mine these really rich veins down, and they hit the sulfide zone and they'd stop because they couldn't mill it and they couldn't see the gold, and it was much more complex than a leached oxidized vein like this. Geology lesson of the day. The vein was pinched at the end of this drift. It pinched down pretty narrow, and they probably didn't have the grade they needed. And so they abandoned this and went somewhere else. My hope is that once we start stoping up here, just like you see out in the room there, I'm hoping the vein widens out and we start seeing that gold on the back, like I saw back over here and when we were scaling on the vein on the surface. So I'm hoping there's some sort of richer zone just 5, 10, 20 feet up here. And I like this spot because it's really close to the surface, close to the blacksmith shop. We're not going down up and down a raise and all that kind of stuff. So even if it's a little bit lower grade than the stope, this is a really nice spot to work because it's so close. Really reduces logistics.
This is where it's bad. Like, this is the worst spot. And that is slabby, so trying to contain that and then brace that. We shore it now, or we just let it fall and the pillar gets smaller. This is all this right here is all bad. And so if I contain it, it stays. That's not a lot of weight.
Yeah, I don't know. The stall up here is going to be much good. I mean, we can stack muck up underneath this, and that'll hold that.
Yeah.
That looks like it's widening right there, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, so they followed it to here, and for some reason they thought it was a good idea to start scoping this way, but then they only went one round in.
Yep.
I wonder if that was during the fire or
End of the season or
exploration,
snow.
and they just, who knows, ran out of money.
But this bottom section here looks real good to me. This, the 6-8 inches there on the footwall.
Well, it kind of makes a lens, right? Right here,
Yeah.
little lens, a little slip opened up, and that hook shot in there.
Yeah.
I dream about those now.
Well, and there's that red
Yeah.
telluride. There's some more.
So if we work our way all the way back here and then go up this way,
Yeah.
and there's that sister vein outside, that is one more over.
Yeah,
There's
the hallways
parallels,
in.
yeah.
Yeah. Now that's the best looking stuff in the whole drift is right there on the footwall.
We should get a chip sample.
Yeah. These are his flags.
Okay. So you do have numbers then.
35, LL 35 right here. It was a tenth
Okay.
across here.
So he went through the waste too, so he did a proper channel.
He did a proper channel all the way to the footwall. I mean, that looks like it's angled up more than the footwall.
Yeah.
So that looks like it's just growing right there.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's got sulfides in it over here. Unreached sulfides. This is the spot. Now I'd like to drift that way another 50 feet.
I like it.
Okay. We are all hooked up for our third, what do you call this, Martin blast of the back or whatever.
Yeah, I guess you could say we're increasing the back of the drift.
Yeah, exposing the veins, seeing what we got. I think after this one we got one more and then we'll be in that little stope room back there. But we got a lot of muck to move before then, which I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. But that's tomorrow problem. We're all videoing each other videoing.
Yep.
This is the big one, four on the
Yep.
Martin drift.
All right.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Here we go. 0 and then the big boom 5 seconds later.
That was distinctive this time.
That's a big boom. That's a really big boom.
That puts a big smile on my face. All right.
I like it.
The smoke will be
The
coming
whole
soon.
mountain shakes. Wish Dan Hurd could hear that one. Martin drift shot number 3. That's a lot of muck. Wow. That's a lot to muck today, you guys.
That's what I want to hear.
What have we done?
Created a little longer work for us.
Yeah. It looks like your last hole there, Harry, got hung up there somewhere. Well, there's a little wire hanging, but it looks like it went. Okay, we'll get scaled in there and see what it looks like. We got her more or less washed down here. And yeah, the vein looked like it pinched right down. Kind of came along here and pinched right into the footwall there. This is all waste up here, but then I think in the next round it all comes back, right? More or less. But man, we got a lot of muck here, Harry. Is that your favorite thing or your least favorite thing?
What, mucking?
Yeah.
No, I don't mind it.
You don't mind mucking? There's a lot of muck here. This whole pile came out of that little hole up there.
Yeah.
But what I really like is we don't have that big shark tooth hangy down thing that you're gonna hit your head on.
Yeah.
Nice back.
You can walk. You can walk in there.
Yep, once this muck's out of here. All right, on to mucking. What's that term? Necessity is the mother of invention or something?
Necessity is the mother of all invention.
That's what we got going on here. We took some of this old PVC airline that was in here and we put it down for track because it's all we had that was kind of straight. And man, it works beautiful. I think probably some heavier 80 gauge with some connectors that go on the inside. You can heat it up and bend it if you wanted to. But this stuff works really well for our wheels. It's going to last forever. We're loving it. Harry was even talking about putting sleepers down and using plumber's tape to go right over the top of the PVC and strap it down tight. But look at how easy it works. Can hold 300-400 pounds. Well, I don't know, 300-400 pounds. That's untested, but I like it. We figured a hack. That's what all the kids are saying these days. We hacked it. All right, Harry's going to demonstrate how we muck here. He's got his knee pads going. He's got the pin hoe. Get right down to the toe of the hump there and right into a bucket. Kicks it back to Pete. And they swap. Sends out to me on the cart and I go dump it. Harry likes that pin hoe a lot. It's one of his favorite tools. This is another one here. This is from one of mine operator subscribers. Austin made this. Harry loves this tool as well. They call it a super mucker. And I'll put a link to Austin's website down below in the description. So if you want a super mucker, he's got them on his website. They're rad tools for doing just this kind of work.
Really good at getting rocks in places that most tools don't. It's good at prying them out. Where a shovel fails, this goes well.
Nice. You having fun yet?
Every day.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
How about you, Pete?
Oh, it's a great day.
It's a great day. Once we get done mucking this, we've got one more 6-foot round to take on this shoulder, and then we'll be broken up, open into this room, and I really want to chase this little section of vein right there. This little section looks really good, has some tellurium in it. It looks like it's widening out as you go up. So we're gonna, I don't even know, we might split shoot this, Harry.
That's not a bad idea.
We
Drill
might-
it all and shoot half.
Yeah, drill it all, shoot the top out, see what it looks like up there 4 feet, and then shoot it might all come, there's that nice slip right underneath the vein, it might all just break right to the slip. We'll see. But we also have to get all this muck out of here. That's 2 feet to the back there, so we've got probably 2.5, 3 feet of muck that I'm sitting on before we can get back in here and drill this. And we still have to shoot this back out. It's been a couple days. Let's check on our dex pan. Nothing. There's a few little pieces, but I mean little teeny tiny pieces. It doesn't seem to be working so well. I mean, there's definitely some cracks back in here, but it's not.
Maybe parallel to the crack in the rock is not ideal.
Yeah, is anything going? Not much is happening, huh? Well, give it another week. All right, we got our Martin drift number 4 drilled out here, 3 6-footers across the back. I stuck one out here into the vein, and at the back 2 feet of that thing, man, that thing was running just black sulfides out the bottom of that hole. So this is exciting, because once we get this broken, hopefully we can get back here into their little room where they were stoping. Well, this wasn't as stoping, but they went up on it a little bit. I like the look of that vein right there a lot. And we'll break back to somewhere in here. We'll break 2, and that'll give us a really good look at the vein here in the corner. And I hope we can get in there far enough to take a little round up here before the end of the season. We are gonna find out. All right, Pete, you do the honors. It's your last day. Or it's your last blast, probably.
Here, Simply Done alkaline 9-volt battery. That's the cheapest battery I could find.
All right. It's been a good season. I get to hear one more boom.
End it with a bang.
3, 2, 1. Maybe.
There we go.
Shaky time.
Is everything falling off the walls?
That's something I have to fix again.
Thanks for all the work.
Yeah.
We'll see what it looks like tomorrow.
Yep.
This is our last drill and blast cycle of the year. How you feeling about it, Harry?
I'm tired.
27 big booms, and we will be ready.